Christmas is one of the most celebrated times of the year. We see lights everywhere, hear festive music, exchange gifts, and gather with family and friends. But behind all the decorations and celebrations is a story, a simple, powerful story that has been told for over 2,000 years. It is a story that changed the world forever. Today, we're going back to that beginning. Not with complicated language or heavy explanations, but with a clear and gentle story that anyone can understand, even if you've never heard it before. This is the story of the birth of Jesus Christ. Long before Jesus was born, people believed that God had made a promise to send a Savior, someone who would bring hope, peace, and healing to the world. Then, one ordinary day in a small town called Nazareth, something extraordinary happened. A young woman named Mary was going about her normal life. She was engaged to a man named Joseph, a carpenter. Suddenly, an angel named Gabriel appeared to her. The angel told Mary not to be afraid and said that God had chosen her. She would become pregnant and give birth to a son, and she was to name him Jesus. Mary was confused and frightened. She had never been married, and she didn't understand how this could happen. But the angel explained that this child would be special. He would be born through the power of God. He would be called the Son of God and would one day reign as king. Even though Mary didn't fully understand everything, she chose to trust God. With humility and courage, she said that she was God's servant and was willing to accept what had been planned for her life. In that moment, history quietly changed. When Joseph found out that Mary was pregnant, he was deeply troubled. He knew the child was not his, and in those days, this situation could bring shame and serious consequences. Joseph was a kind and honorable man, and he did not want to hurt Mary. He decided he would quietly end the engagement. But that night, Joseph had a dream. An angel appeared to him and told him not to be afraid to take Mary as his wife. The child she was carrying was from God, and she would give birth to a son named Jesus, who would save people. When Joseph woke up, he believed the message. He chose faith over fear, stayed with Mary, and accepted the responsibility of raising this child. Around that time, the Roman government ordered a census, which meant everyone had to travel to their hometown to be counted. Joseph came from the family line of King David, so he had to travel to Bethlehem, a small town far from Nazareth. Mary was close to giving birth, but she and Joseph made the long and difficult journey together. When they arrived in Bethlehem, the town was crowded. Every place to stay was full. There was no room for them in any house or guest room. Eventually, they found shelter in a stable, a place where animals were kept. It was not comfortable or clean, but it was all they had. That night, Mary gave birth to her baby boy. She wrapped him in cloths and laid him in a manger, a feeding box for animals. There were no celebrations, no royal announcements, and no palace. Just a young mother, a faithful father, and a newborn baby resting in a humble place. This was how Christians believe God entered the world, not with power or wealth, but with gentleness and humility. Not far away, in the fields outside Bethlehem, shepherds were watching over their sheep. Shepherds were ordinary people and were often overlooked by society. Suddenly, the sky lit up, and an angel appeared to them. The shepherds were terrified, but the angel told them not to be afraid. He said he was bringing good news that would bring great joy to all people. A Savior had been born that day in Bethlehem, and they would find him wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger. Then the sky filled with angels praising God and speaking of peace on earth. After the angels left, the shepherds hurried to Bethlehem. They found Mary, Joseph, and the baby exactly as they had been told. They were amazed and shared the news with everyone they met before returning to their fields, praising God. Some time later, far away in the east, wise men noticed a special star in the sky. They believed this star signaled the birth of a great king. They followed the star on a long journey, not knowing exactly where it would lead them. Eventually, the star brought them to Jesus. When they saw him, they bowed down and worshipped. They presented gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, recognizing that this child was not ordinary. These gifts symbolized kingship, worship, and sacrifice. The Christmas story is not about luxury or perfection. It is a story about hope. It reminds us that God meets people in ordinary moments and unexpected places. It shows that greatness can come from humble beginnings and that love often arrives quietly. Jesus was born into a broken world, much like ours today. His birth carried a simple but powerful message: peace, love, and hope for everyone. That is why, even after thousands of years, the story of a baby born in a manger continues to be told. It is a story that reminds us that light can shine in darkness, and hope can be found even in the most unlikely places. This is the Christmas story, a story of love that changed the world.